We say hi, hello, hi, you notice. Lauren, for y'all, that's our focus. We say hi, hello, hi, you notice. Lauren, for y'all, that's our focus. Lauren! No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Markwell Cade with Trademark Law, your favorite neighborhood lawyers. I have clients that come to me sometimes and ask me, can you trademark a sound? And the answer is yes. Have you ever heard the ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it? Yes, you probably have. Everyone has. You've had McDonald's. That is a sound trademark. I also have clients sometimes that come to me and ask me, can I trademark a movement? And the answer is also yes. You can trademark dances. You can trademark movements. You can trademark fighting choreography, if you will. Fun fact, they actually tried to trademark Jet Li's moves in The Matrix. He was originally going to be in it, but because they asked for permission to own his movements and own his fighting style, he said, no, we're not going to do that. Warner Brothers is not going to own my brand of Jet Li Kung Fu. But this is all to say, you can trademark a movement. You can trademark a sound. Today, we're going to talk about trademarking movements and trademarking sounds. The cool thing about trademarking movement and trademarking sound is that generally speaking, there aren't any different requirements for trademarking these things. You're gonna have the same requirements that you would have for trademarking a logo or a slogan or a business name, in that it must be identifiable with the owner of the mark. When you think of Jet Li's Kung Fu, for example, you're gonna think of Jet Li, or maybe you won't. Let's take another example. When you think of the moonwalk, who do you think of? Michael Jackson. A lot of times you couldn't have a reference to the moonwalk without having a reference to Michael Jackson. They became one and the same. Very similar with sound marks. When you have that ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it from McDonald's, you very clearly, when you hear ba-da-ba-ba-ba, know the association with the brand. You understand that by hearing those sounds, you think of McDonald's. It's a little bit harder when you aren't using jingles, or you aren't using commercials, or you aren't using good branding to set yourself apart and own these types of marks, but it doesn't mean that you can't register these marks. They may have a steeper hill to climb just because you have to associate the mark or the movement or the sound in this case with your brand or your business or the owner of the mark. And that's a little bit tougher to do when you don't have the recognition of these people or brand names or companies that we've just mentioned in Michael Jackson and McDonald's, but you don't necessarily get barred from registering these marks just because you aren't on these levels. You can totally register a sound mark, and you can totally register a movement. For registering sound marks, you typically just upload them when you upload your application to the USPTO's website and their TEAS system. There are different systems that allow you to upload sound files like waves and MP3s and these types of files. It's a robust system. There are file requirements in that it can't exceed a certain size and the file must be in a certain type and it must be readable. And you do have to describe what the sounds are using kind of a musical note. So if you're like Nick Cannon in Drumline and you don't know musical notes, you may want to hire someone to allow you to explain the sounds that you're using. McDonald's, for example, uses the keys of the ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So when you hear these sounds used in conjunction with one another in that order, you think of McDonald's, giving McDonald's association with that market ownership of it. The same thing is true of movements. But for movements, because you can't necessarily upload a video of the movement, the USPTO generally requires for you to submit drawings of the movement. Sometimes this is how wrestlers can get their moves trademarked and protected under the WWE. And sometimes this is how you can have a Michael Jackson moonwalk situation, where when you think of a moonwalk, you think of Michael Jackson. But generally speaking, you're gonna have to draw the movement from step to step. kind of like an animation style drawing for the USPTO to understand what movement it is that you're trying to protect. This will help them search and make sure that your mark isn't taken by someone else or it's not associated with someone else such that your mark isn't original. So that movement must be original. That's all, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been, can I trademark a sound or a movement? The answer is yes. We hope this was helpful. But as always, if you have a question on this area of law, do not hesitate to seek an attorney in your area or even call us, your favorite neighborhood lawyers. I am Markwell Cade with Trademark Law. Protect your brand, grow your business. Stay frosty, my friends. We'll see you next time.